Welcome back, hope you're doing well. In this video we'll be talking about opinions. And you see, everyone has one. I mean, think of all the opinions that you have. Whether or not you think that today's weather is convenient or not. Or the opinion that you have about the situation that you're in right now. Whether you think it's good or bad. All the opinions that you have of other people, of your friends, of people that you know. The opinion that you have about yourself, you see. Whether you think that you're successful or not. Whether you think that you're good enough or not. You see, constantly, we are putting our opinions on the things around us. Constantly, we're labeling them. But you see, our opinions are shaped by dogmas. They are shaped by our expectations, by how we're feeling, by our ignorance. And most of the time, they are biased. I mean, simply put, they are not true most of the time. You see, most of the time, our opinions are not even our own, because we are that influenced by all other people around us, by the internet, what we see online. Most of the time, our opinion, it's not even an original opinion. And of course, no wonder we are so upset and so angry so often, because we believe them and we rarely question our opinions. And you see, when we believe our opinions, we suffer in our own imagination. We make ourselves suffer because we go along with our opinions and we don't see them for what they are. Just opinions. They are not facts. I mean, this happened to me also quite a lot of the times, that I went along with my opinions. I believed them. The opinions that I had of myself, you see, whether or not I'm good enough or whether or not I'm doing enough, you see, I'm not being productive enough, all those kind of opinions that I was putting on myself, and I wasn't really questioning them. Or this also happened a lot of the times where something happened and I was saying, oh, this is awful, or oh, this is great. But what if we let go of our opinions? What if we just see things as they are, and not good, not bad, and we stop putting our opinions and labeling things constantly, and see opinions for what they are, just opinions, and not facts, and not let the things that are going around us and the image of ourselves be colored by our judgments and by our opinions, and just see them as they are. I mean, imagine just how much peaceful and content we would be. And we wouldn't be upset and angry so often at trivial things. And you see, when we're judging our situation and we're saying, oh, this thing that happened to me, it's so bad, I can't believe it. Or when we say it's so good, you see, the thing is that we never know whether or not what happened to us is good or bad. We never know whether or not a good situation, we never know what this situation leads to, what will the outcome of this situation will be. And to demonstrate this, let me just tell you one of my favorite stories. This is an old Chinese story. It's a Taoist story of an old Chinese farmer. And you see, the story goes like this. You see, a long time ago there was an old Chinese farmer, and one day he lost his horse. It ran away. And you see, the neighbors came around and they said to the old Chinese farmer, this is bad news, this is such a bad thing that happened. The old Chinese farmer said, maybe. And you see, the next day, his horse came back to the farm with 5 other wild horses. And you see, the neighbors came around and told the Chinese farmer, I keep saying Chinese, they told the farmer, yes, this is great fortune. What a good thing. We have 5 more horses. And the farmer said, maybe. And the next day, when the farmer's son was trying to tame one of the wild horses and trying to ride him, the horse threw him off his back, and the farmer's son broke his leg. And the neighbors came around and told the farmer that this is such bad news, this is bad fortune. And the farmer said maybe. And the next day, the emperor of China declared war on the neighboring nation. And you see, when the army came around to recruit capable men to go and fight in the war, they couldn't recruit the farmer's son because of his broken leg. And when the neighbors came around and told the farmer, oh, this is great news, this is good fortune, the farmer said, Maybe. You see, this is such a great story. I love this so much that you never know what your situation will lead to. And you never know if this situation is good or bad. Because how do you know if this situation is good or bad? Well, based on the outcome, what it leads to. But you never know what your situation leads to, whether or not it's going to be good or bad, because there are just too many variables that come into play when considering the future. And you might have also experienced this, that maybe something bad happened to you, that at that time you thought that it was awful, but actually a couple of weeks or months or even years later it turned out to be a great thing that happened to you, and you wouldn't change it. Or it's also true the other way around. Maybe something good happened to you that turned out to be great or turned out to be bad. So then let go of your opinions. I mean, this is one of the ideas in Buddhism, you see, the idea of non-attachment. Let go, because there's nothing to cling on to, there's nothing to hold on to, because everything is impermanent. And the way our universe works is that everything is interdependent. Everything is so connected with each other that you can't have one without the other. And you see, everything is changing. And the more we grasp onto things, the more it changes. So let go of your opinions, of your concepts, of your fixed beliefs or your fixed identities that you have. And let go of the need to control your life. Let go of trying to control what's going on around you. I mean, this is their way of doing it, you see. They make you let go of everything. Let go of all the mental constructs and even the ideas that you have about yourself, you see, or what you think of who you are, your identity, your ego, your personality. And to just let go of all of that, because everything is impermanent. Everything is interconnected with everything else. And also to accept this moment profoundly, accept it, and not try to be somewhere else, not try to go somewhere, but to just be here right now. And why let go? Because you see, everything in this universe is interconnected with everything else, meaning that they are just like black and white. You see, you can't have one without the other. You can't have black without white, just in the same way you can't have up without down. You just can't have one without the other. And you see, trying to grasping on and clinging on to white, and you see, only wanting that, and trying to get rid of black and only clinging on to white, is ignoring the fact that they only exist in relationship to one another, that you can't have one without the other. And to explain more, let me just read you a quote from this book by Alan Watts. I mean, it's in Romanian, Kalia Zen, The Way of Zen, and I translated it with Deepa, so I'm not sure if it's the best translation, but let me just read you a quote from this book. It says that all things are without nature in itself, or independent reality, because they exist only in relation to other things. Nothing in this universe can exist by itself. No thing, no fact, no being, no event. And for this reason, it is absurd to select anyone as an ideal to embrace. This is because what is selected exists only in relation to its opposite. Because what exists is defined by what does not exist. Pleasure is defined by pain, life by death, and motion by rest. Clearly, the mind cannot form an idea of what it means to be in the absence of the opposite not to be. As long as the ideas of existence and non-existence are abstractions of such simple experiences as the existence of a penny in the right hand and none in the left. So then this is what we got to understand, that you can't have one without the other. You can't have good without bad, you can't have up without down, inside without outside, life without death, sound without silence, and you just can't have one without the other. And you got to look through this universal illusion that the good, what we like, can be separated from the bad, what we dislike. Because they cannot be separated. They exist only in relationship with one another. You can't have one without the other, you see. And it's not like one came before the other. It's not like, you see, there was first up and then there was down. They only exist in relationship with one another, and they arise mutually. And you see, underneath these differences. There is a hidden unity. You see, explicitly, they are as different as they can be, but implicitly, underneath the surface, they show us a hidden unity, that they are really one, that they cannot exist without one another. And everything in the universe is just like this. You see, the same principle that you only exist, you only know self, me, if you can contrast it with other. You only know what is me if you have something to contrast it with that is other than me. So it's the same relationship that you have between me and other, that you can't have one without the other. And underneath these differences, there's a hidden unity. I mean, let me just read you a quote from the book, the Taoist. You see, this is basically one of the main principles of this book, you see, of Taoism. In the second chapter of it, reads like this: when people see things as beautiful, ugliness is created. When people see things as good, evil is created. Being and non-being produce each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short define each other. And she goes on to list some of these things. Therefore, the master can act without doing anything and teach without saying a word. Things come her way and she does not stop them. Things leave and she lets them go. She has without possessing and acts without any expectations. When her work is done, she takes no credit. That is why it will last forever. So you see, this is this interdependence of everything else, that you can't have one without the other. I mean, I really like this book, just as a side note. Like, it has these like cool little drawings and everything. Very cool, very cool. So you see, and another of one of these very interesting like polarities or opposites is something and nothing. Because you see, everything comes out of nothingness. Because nothing implies something, and something implies nothing. You see, this is also what they write in these Eastern scriptures, that nothingness or the void is the mother of form, because they imply one another. It's just that simple, that you can't have one without the other. This is just what you got to understand, that you can't have one without the other. And you see, it's the same principle that you can't see behind your eyes. There's nothing behind your eyes, yet you see out of it. You see, I mean, this is probably one of the closest that we get to nothingness. How your head looks to your eyes. I mean, just look at it. I mean, you can look at it, but as I move my hands behind my eye, I mean, they just disappear. It's not like I see blankness or darkness. They are just, there's nothing there. But you see, out of that nothingness, I see. And you see, there has to be this nothingness, because otherwise, there's nothing to contrast it to. If I had eyes all around me, you see, then I wouldn't be able to see, because there has to be something that I don't see in order to have something to see. And you see, if I had eyes around me, then the way that I would experience the world, if I had eyes in the back of my head, then there would be something in the middle. That there would be something not. That nothingness then would be in the middle, you see. It's like you have this like 360 vision, but then you have this emptiness in the middle, because always you need this kind of emptiness. And the same principle applies to life and death, because out of nothingness you came. You don't know where you came from, but yet out of that nothingness you're alive. And you're going back into that nothingness. I mean, you don't know where you're going. But you see, nothing implies something. You can't have one without the other. So, nothingness is like a bounce back. You bounce back from this nothingness and come back again as something. Now, I won't go really into this in this video. I'll probably make a whole another video about nothingness and life and death. I mean, I already made one. If you're interested, you can check it out in the description about death and going to sleep and never waking up. So you see, let's get back to the point. Let go of your opinions and to question your opinions, question your thoughts, and not believe them 100%, and have the ability to let them go and to just accept whatever is going on right now, to realize that this moment is the only thing that we have. The future doesn't exist, the past doesn't exist, because you see, there are only abstractions. So Hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you're interested, I'm doing free one-on-one calls. You can send me an email and we'll contact each other. And you can ask me anything you want. We'll arrange a video call, blah blah blah. And if you have any questions, leave a comment. I'm very interested to answer those. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day and goodbye.